Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am RV Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network. This is a Bitcoin chart getting a little dump, nothing big, but we're losing the 50-day simple moving average right now, returning back to that golden pocket where we got a perfect bounce here on that and on the dynamic reactor this weekend. Gave a little bit of hopium, but I'm still not fully bullish yet, I should say. I'm still bearish. And the reason why, I'll discuss that in the show. Guys, it's a nice relief rally. Overall, taking a look at what we're seeing here on the crypto bubbles, guys, a lot of red here on the hourly on the market open. We were green this morning, sitting on the daily, quite a bit of green, but we're going to talk about this bad boy right here. OM token from Mantra down 88.2%. Top 20 token moving all the way down to the 82nd position on the market cap, guys. Rug pulls on top 20 projects. How can we have trust in anything? The longer I'm in this, the more I'm a Bitcoin maxi. And shout out to my boy leaving Boston up there. He said, the further I get away from Boston, the happier I am. Who said that? It was it username? No, Harp. No, it was username. He said, crazy. The further I drive away from Boston, the happier I get. That's because Boston sucks, guys. Let's break it all down and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show. I appreciate everyone joining us here. We got to talk about OM. We got to talk about what's going on this week. We had some tariff news this weekend. Hey, you guys do all those things. Well, we didn't mean everything was going to get those big tariffs. Chips, computers, cell phones, the big imports to the United States, not so much going to get it. And then we hear, oh, by the way, that's a pause on those things. It still might occur. No one knows what's going on. And as I've said before, I really feel like this administration really needs the rates to get in line so they can refinance. And so they're creating chaos on purpose because chaos equals uncertainty. Uncertainty equals sell-off, right? Because market retail don't like uncertainty. They like to know what the hell is going on. And it's a little bit hard to do when things change all the time. Shout out to Emma Coiner in the chat. Crypto Princess, we are set to redirect today. This show will redirect to the second episode live show from Crypto Princess. So you guys, when we get done here today, just ride it on through. We're going to ride right on in to London and hang out with Crypto Princess. She's got another great live stream coming up today. But let's go ahead and bring up my co-host, guys. The man, the myth, the legend. He goes by the name Mexican Superman, king of the tinfoil hat. Let's get him up here. OCGuy in the house. What's up, bro?
Not much. Just happy to be around here. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Let's see. Like, do you recognize me now, or am I gone? Right, dude.
Mexican
I always
Superman.
hated that on Superman.
OCGuy. By the way, I'm drinking coffee with the OG today with the Otter Gang. I got my Otter Gang. Come on, focus on it. There you go. Otter Gang coffee mug today. Got my Otter Gang polo shirt on. I'm just saying, if you don't have the OG swag, do you really have swag? There you go. So, we got to break this in. We got a lot of news to go through. We've got to talk about OM because holy cannoli, did that thing dump off there? And I showed it to you this morning. You were like, it did what? I haven't even looked at it. I'm not tracking. And then you looked at the chart and you said, this can't be right, is it? I said, it's right. So we're going to talk about that, but I want to get into all the news today first and knock this out the park. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about this massive rug pull that happened on the top 20 project. Let's jump over to the news and we'll be right back with you, OC. Stand by. To the news, Batman, to the news. So let's take a look here what we got going on Into the Cryptoverse, guys. Currently sitting right now at a crypto market cap of $2.682 trillion. We are sitting about 27.62% undervalued to that 3.7 trillion trend there. So you can see Bitcoin, crypto in general, undervalued. Current risk level right now for the DCA people out there is at 49.3%. We did drop our beautiful DCA plan, the Piper plan, in our Discord this morning. So if you are a member, go check it out. That is your plan for this week. I am waiting. I think we're going to have a lower number coming in. So I'm going to wait probably for Bucks Tuesday. That's his favorite DCA day. So looking here at Bitcoin dominance right now with stable coins, it's at 62.6%. Without stables at 68.45. And then let's go check out and see what the fear and greed is. I think it's still in fear, but just barely. When the last time that I seen it, the last time I seen it, yeah, we're at 31, still in fear right now on the fear and greed index. Let's go talk about these crypto bubbles here, guys. Looking here at Bitcoin on the daily, still up about 1.1% on the daily. We do have Ethereum sitting at about 1665, Bitcoin just under or just over 84,500. XRP down about 0.1%. Any big moves? Solana's up 3.2, not bad. $132 there in that ballpark. Tron's up 3.7%. Chainlink down up 2.7. Avalanche up 3.4. No real big move. We got some that are in red, some that are in green today, but no big moves. But if we go, you guys remember, number 20 here was Mantra. Has been big, fast mover, been rocking the boat in that top 20 world. Let's go down here and let's take a look at where it's at now. We've got to go all the way down to like the 80s. Oh, it's number 84 now. It's lost 64 spots, guys, down 88.2% on the daily, guys. It is down 2.4% from where it was 1 year ago right now. And we are getting a little bounce on it here at 2.6% upside on the hourly. So it's at 72.6 cents right now. I will tell you, I am in a ladder long. I'm laddering in on a long for Mantra because while I don't know that Mantra is going to make it back to the top 20, I do think it's going to rally some people behind it, and it's going to take off and run. And when it does, I'm going to be ready for it. So I am running a low leverage long that I'm laddering into as it does little pullbacks. So we'll see how that goes. Wish me luck. It's money that I'm okay with losing. If it goes away and I lose it, it is what it is, but that's why I didn't put it out in the trade group. But if it doesn't and it takes off, it could be a pretty substantial run, guys. When you look at the chart, it went down from like $6 range, 5 something, all the way down to like 80 cents. So yeah, I'm all for it. Let's go over here and take a look at what's going on CNBC with the TradFi world. The Dow Jones currently up 1.2% right now. Let me refresh this. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the most current TradFi numbers. There we go. Yeah, 1.19, 1.18% on the Dow Jones there. S&P is up about 1.56%. The Nasdaq's up about 1.79. Russell 2K 2.34, and the VIX settling the hell down. It's sitting at a 31.8% right now. 31.8 points. I mean, down about 15%. There. Let's go check out the euro. The Europe market, guys, all closed in the green yesterday. Asian market all closed in the green yesterday. So pretty good in my opinion. Bond is calming down. 4.417 down slightly, about 7% there. Oil back above $60. Not looking too bad. There's some things happening here going on with like the bond coming down, oil coming back up, markets leveling out. Pause for a little bit of bullish sentiment, but I'm not fully there yet. And I'm going to show you what I'm waiting on to see that. Retro Mike Tech said Luna also bounced for a brief period. I have an article actually comparing what we're seeing with Mantra to what happened with Luna. So it's going to be interesting to see. If we get a little bit, like I said, I'm okay with losing the money that I have in the trade. It's not a huge amount of leverage either, so I've got some good risk management there on how much exposure I'm putting into it. But if it's gone, it's gone. If it takes off, we'll ride it like a bull, right? Gold, let's go check that out. Gold's still down today, still above $3,220. Silver down a little bit too, just under $32. Copper, platinum, and palladium all sitting on the upside there. Let's go over and talk about what's going on this week on the economic calendar, guys. Today, we've got a lot of Fed speakers happening. A lot of them Fed Reserve people that think they're important, talking about important stuff. So there you go. Buck is here. Yes, he is. What's up, 2Dub? How you doing? Shout out to Randy, Alexander G, Emma Coiner, all of the alumni. I love seeing you all here. Tomorrow, we're going to get import-export prices coming in. We're also going to get that New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, expected to not be as bad as what it was, which was negative 20, but still being in the negative. It means a slowdown of the slowdown, we'll call it. There you go. And then we're also going to get here on. Shout out to the Otter Gang. I just saw a redirect over here. Shout out to the gang. Guys, Auto gang, I'm wearing my OG clothes. I got my OG shirt on. I got my OG coffee mug. I'm feeling gangish today. Totally. Wednesday, guys, we're going to get retail sales month over month. It is expected to be up. We were at 0.2%, expect to be over 1% plus there. We're going to get that 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Maybe that goes down. Who knows? We are seeing the 10-year pull back a little bit now, but maybe this is off of last month, so it's probably going to go up, in my opinion. We're going to get Thursday. We're going to get building permits and housing starts. Expected to be some slowdown there, so maybe some lessening demand. Might be a little lessening of the price. If you're trying to sell a home, probably not good. If you're trying to buy one, maybe good for you. So that's what we got this week. Let's go check out X marks the spot, guys. Couple of things over here. Breaking news this morning. NVIDIA announces plans to manufacture supercomputers in the U.S. for the first time, committing to a $500 billion AI infrastructure investment in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Buck has pointed this out to me many, many times. Meet Kevin talked about it. It's very interesting what he's saying there. But you notice how all of these promises, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, they're all like 4 to 5 years after Trump's no longer in office. I don't know. It is a little odd that, hey, let's drag our feet on this if we don't have to get fully invested into it. And it looks like this stuff's not going to happen with tariffs. Then we can just shut off that expense and then go back to business status quo, right? But it is interesting that we're seeing this type of rhetoric of, hey, we're going to do this, but it's all after would it matter, right? That point. What else we got? Tariffs on semiconductors. This happened this weekend. This is some of the news that came out. And electronic imports were reduced from 145% to 20%. Meanwhile, the S&P 500s were up only 30 points, just so you know, last night. This morning, they were up a little bit higher. But it does look like investors have lost confidence in the market. We are seeing quite a bit of, a lack of yay. How about that? A lack of yay in the market. So looking here also, we had another one. Let's go back into my bookmarks. There we go. I had another thing here. Be mindful of bear market rallies. And this is why I said I'm not overly confident on the rallies, right, guys? Because bear markets make fools of both bulls and bears. In the great financial crisis, S&P 500 recorded over 6 bear market rallies. Get back over there. After the 2000.com bubble burst, we saw 5 to 6 market rallies as well. So you guys can see here on this image, and we'll bring it in here so you can see the pick. There we go. We had this picture here. This is the bull market sell-off. So come here, picture. Come here, picture. It does not want to show me the picture. All right, fine. Be that way. So looking here, you can see the sell-off that happened. It was 26% down, 21% rally, 32% down, 21% rally, 19% down, 21% rally, 15 more percent, and just continued to make lower highs and lower lows, right? Here in the 2022 bear market, we saw 10% down, 6% rally, 9% down, 11% rally, 16% down, 7% rally, and then ultimately 12% before it bottomed. And so when we look at the charts, I'm not seeing a higher high on anything really yet. So that gives me this reason to believe that until we break a higher high, I can't be bullish. I have to follow the data, not the hopium. What my heart wants and what my brain tells me are two different things. So we're going to maintain diamond brain in the house. So yeah, you guys can drop that one in the chat. Let's go over here and take a look at what we're seeing on the 10-year yield. That's what I wanted. 10-year yield. This is a 10-year, 2-year treasury spread, guys. I want to get a nice refresh here. Make sure this is up to date. You guys know anything above 5 on this is a recessionary warning right now. We are at 0.51, so we still are maintaining above that 5%, but it has dropped quite a bit here, 5.57% in the last 1 day. So a little bit of hopium there that may break back down and calm down. Let's go talk about Mantra. Mantra investors denied dumping OM token before the crash despite Arkham evidence. Laser Digital, that's one of Mantra's strategic investors, has denied a $41.6 million transfer in OM tokens to OKX prior to the crash. It was also Binance. If you don't know, now you do. Blockchain analysts have identified large-scale token transfers by major Mantra investors in the days leading up to the sharp collapse of the OM token, raising questions about insider activity and the stability of the project. Laser Digital, strategic Mantra investor, reportedly cashed out large portions that collapsed the token on April 13th. On-chain data suggests at least 2 wallets that were linked to Laser Digital were among 17 wallets that moved that 43.6 million OM tokens. Laser Digital has came back and said it wasn't me. Even caught him on the blockchain. It wasn't me. He subsequently denied reports alleging its involvement in the OM volatility, claiming that the referenced wallets did not belong to Laser Digital. So I don't know. Let's go over here. Let's talk about this, OC, because look, it wasn't me. Okay, just that's all I'm saying. It wasn't me. But everything on blockchain, it's there. You can read the data. They were linked to Laser Digital, so allegedly. So what do you think, man? First of all, what do you think about this dump? And then this was a top 20 project. Can we talk about the elephant in the room here? How are we supposed to have trust in projects? We hear all the time, look, just buy the top 20, you'll be fine. Well, there's a top 20 project that cost one person, allegedly on X, like almost $15 million. So, OC, your thoughts on this, and where's the trust at for projects in the market? Does this just reinforce being a Bitcoin maxi?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, let's just criticize a little bit of this, right? So first of all, we need to understand that the projects need to bring something important to the table, right? OM was, if I'm not mistaken, it was meant to be something related to DAMAC or DAMAC Group or Dubai that tokenized luxury real estate assets, right? And
Yeah, it's
then they
real
launched
world. It's an RWA project, a real world asset, just like Chainlink and Pyth. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, is it tied to the ownership of those lands? Well, that's what I don't know. So, did they needed to sell those lands to then sell the tokens? I also don't think so because they were pre-minted, right? So the point is that if it still holds some value in the change there, I think it's gonna come back, right? I mean, it's gonna hold some value. It's gonna be for the future long time use, unless the development team just abandons it, right? Another thing that is important, is it centralized or is it decentralized, right? Depending on how you ask, well, it is an absolute decentralized situation, but is it really decentralized? Well, then we say that token holders, yeah, don't control it. The liquidity, they don't have control over the liquidity control, so it is not. It is just a governance via DAO, right? And it consumes mechanism or proof of stake, right? So that also raises the question. Well, if we see that, I mean, we need to understand who's going to be holding those tokens, right? Do we really trust them? I would say that just like in any other part of the world, right? And this is because this is how Bitcoin came to be, right? Out of the untrusted system, well, then we cannot trust anyone, right? And based on that, that's why we created miners, we created nodes, we created validators, we created so on and so forth, all of the change, right? So you don't really need to trust anyone. It's actually just, I mean, either 50%, 51%, or none. That's it, right? So what does it put to the rest of the projects? In the same bag. That's it, same bag. As you mentioned, the longer that we are here, the longer BTC Maxi we become, because we just see this over and over and over. And you were saying something at the beginning of the show, right? Right before we went live, like, well, we always or it's a common sense to be all right. You want to be safer on crypto, stick to the top 20, right? Step to the top 100. So what happens now? I mean, now you get a rug pull. So who's going to be account responsible? The buyers, because they knew their risk. The holders, right? Because I mean, how could they let that happen? But quotations, because they have no governance, or DAC, right? Because they sold. So I mean, it just came to my head. Na 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 na. Wasn't me. Na 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 na. Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Right? So,
Did you rug pull it? It wasn't me.
wasn't me.
Yeah. So let's talk about this article here, because RMT did reference this to being a lot like Luna. Guess what? This article says the same thing. Mantra bounces 200% after OM price crash, but poses Luna like big scandal risk. I want to remind everyone, Luna has really never ever came back. at all. It's a dead project now. So keep that in mind. The OM price bounce appears eerily. What's that?
Sorry for that. I had a question for you because, and I know the answer, but many of our new viewers may not, right? You first say that we have somewhere around 14 wallets being sold at, right? Dumping in 90% of the price. And now we bounce at 200%. So that means that that was good, right? For the coin. We should be at least another 100% above of the initial dump, isn't it? Because we dump, we dump 90 and then we pump 200, right?
No, because it would actually take a 180%. It's bad. We'll show the chart in a minute. You guys have got to see this. So let's talk about this. OM price here, guys. OM bounced 200% as co-founder addresses concerns as of April 14th. That's today. OM was trading as high as $1.10, almost 200% higher than its post. It has pulled back since then. If you don't know, that is the candlestick there. The rebound came after Mantra addressed the rug pull allegations. Co-founder JP Mullen reassured the community that the project remains active, pointing to the official Telegram group being still online. Look, we're still online. We haven't rug pulled our Telegram. So we are here and we're not going anywhere. Also sharing a verification address to prove that the team's OM token holdings. He attributed the OM's crash to reckless forced closures initiated by centralized exchanges. So we have Arkham that's showing that this moved over to Binance and OKX, right? But when you look over here and to hear what he's saying centralized exchanges forced crashes through manipulation. So OC, let's look at the chart and show me on the chart where this bad project touched a lot of people in a bad way. Let's go check out your chart.
All right, let's bring Chunky Candles. Chunky Candles, welcome to the show. All right, so man, this is let me zoom out just to get you guys into perspective. All right, look at that. Look at those kind of candles, man. I mean, this is just nuts, right? So I mean, this is just crazy. So I was initially they're just blaming on centralization stuff, but who sold it? I mean, at the end of it all, this is a free market, right? Who would have, I mean, for the price to do that within a single freaking candle, it takes no more than 3 or 4 users to aim in the same direction, right? With what, up to maybe 20% of the supply to jump it up all the way down here? Well, then, absolutely. And just to answer a little bit on the question here, we were at 616-ish, all right? Maybe all the way down to 566, all right? If we dump from 566 to 0.4, that is a 91% dump, all right? Because our point of reference is up here at somewhere around $6. So losing from 6 to whatever we are right now, it is somewhere around 91. But coming back into it, if we take the reference point and of course the market cap, right, all the way here to the bounce, because our point of reference now was what was it, 0.37 cents, guys. We went from $6 to 37 cents, all right, back to 138. Well, 37 cents to 138, it is a 275% pump. So do not make that mistake. The same thing that I was trying to get into a reference. Not if you lose a 90% from where you are, you would need something like, well, in this case, you would need a 1,388% to make it back. So just so you know, and that is because the amount of money there is in the market. So I wanted just to show it to you guys and also pass it over to you, Piper.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing that happened there. And I do find it odd that, you know, we're in bear market talk, right? Crypto winter talk. And here we are with a similar event to what we saw with Terra Luna on Mantra project, OM token taking this massive dump. The timing the timing, what a quinky dink, right? So remember that was a precursor to what was coming for the market overall. But yeah, let's get off of that. Let's go talk about Bitcoin. We'll come back and talk about that, the trade wars and all this good stuff going on. We got trade wars versus record M2 money supply going right now. Did you know that, OC? And we have a really, really defined trend line that's we just broke. So I'm gonna pull this up on the chart in a minute. But trade war versus record M2 money supply. 5 things that you need to know about Bitcoin this week. Bitcoin, kick it through the door right there. There it is. Bitcoin is holding down the fort as U.S. trade wars rage into a third week of April. Tariffs are the key macroeconomic topic of the week as risk assets brace for potential surprise headlines. I've already talked about how crazy the hey, surprise, we're going to change it up again. Here's some more uncertainty for you, market makers. Bitcoin ETFs lost almost $800 million in a week, while strategy indicates it purchased the dip. Despite tariff pressures, the weakness of the U.S. dollar could be a blessing in disguise for Bitcoin and risky assets. Global M2 money supply is at an all-time high and rising. Will Bitcoin follow history and replicate its past 108-day delay on that? We'll see. With traders on the lookout for tariff-related volatility this week, Bitcoin price analysis is zooming out. So let's go talk about a couple of the patterns that they're talking about in here. Watching this chart closely, we might be ready. You can see we got a nice trend line here on the daily, and I'm going to show you this on the chart. We actually have broken this now. So let's jump over, check out the chart. Over to Army chart. There we go. And then let's go and just turn off everything on here. We'll talk about where we are right now. We are getting a pullback up above the 50-day simple moving average right now. Oh, that is a horrible drawing. I'm not an artist. I'm an analyst. So nice little bounce back there. We did wick below it, holding that level after getting a beautiful double bottom here on 2 4-hour candles on the 618. That is a key level. It also was on our dynamic reactor. Shout out to Chart Prime. But if we turn off, let's go ahead and hide the market oracle, the fib retracement, and the MA ribbons, and turn on this trend line. We have a couple of trend lines going here. There's one that was on that chart that I just showed you. So we're going to isolate this over, put this on a 12-hour, and we'll talk about these two levels. They both pull from the same peak back here, but one is pulling in on this level of resistance that we're sitting in right now. And you can see there's a couple of touches on this one. But if you go with the one with more touches, we have officially and effectively broke out on this, especially when we look at the 4-hour. There's a nice little OC retest right there on it. So we have two trend lines that you could take, a tell of two trends here going on with Bitcoin. One is resistance and one is a bounce out of resistance, effectively giving us a retested breakout. So OC, what are you seeing on your chart right now with Bitcoin? Let's get into that. And then let's start talking about some higher time frame stuff that I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. What do you got for Bitcoin for us, man?
Absolutely. Let's just zoom out a little bit and just keep track on all our trend lines, right? Remember that this was a very important level that we were talking about, right? In fact, I bought here, right, for my holdings, went all the way down here, then I bought somewhere around here and sold it back in here. Why? Because it is within my ranging zone. So just keep that in mind for now. It's not important so far, but just so you have at the back of your head, right? Then we were trickling downwards here, and let me just bring up, or if you guys remember Wyckoff, right? A little range V-shaped recovery that gives us 70% chance of ranging, and we range very ugly, but we range. Seems like in this point, we could be having the spring, right? Remember that for the spring to be valid or validated, we need to break back inside of the range. I see this as the range, lower range, higher range, and then just anomaly right there, right? So what's happening, remembering that we're aiming for this reentry, and then off we go, because breaking back into a pattern, right? And this was our next entry. If you recall that one, that was a 0.5% entry, right? And then we ride it all the way to the dynamic reactor, and that was our taking profits, then bouncing back downwards here. That should be our next entry. Let me just give you guys a little bit of a heads up in here on what are we looking for and what are we talking about, right? And this is the schematic that I want to bring up. Oh, come on. There we go. This is the spring, the double bottom, the first retracement, this one right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse right there. This one right here, this is my first entry at half of a position. break back inside the main range. You see how we're breaking back inside the main range and then going for that retracement. That is my second entry with a full position. Usually this gives me a very, very, very high possibilities to go all the way up into the range. I'm not claiming that we're going to be breaking out and going to Valhalla. I'm just telling you, just like with any other pattern, right? You call it, I mean, triangles, symmetrical triangles, right? Rising wedges, right? Downwards ranges, I mean, just normal ranges, right? Triangles, you name it, whatever, balloon dog things, right? So the important thing is that when you see a fake out, that's what it's called, a fake out, and you break back inside that that pattern, the possibilities for it to hit the other side are tremendous. All right, and then we need to see how are we doing. Depending on how are we doing on the oscillator, we're going to be predicting the next upcoming movement. But so far we are supposed to be on the breakout retest because we have our beautiful dynamic reactor. Look at that. All right, just to wrap things up, I am expecting to go all the way up into the range, but be careful because right here up into the range we have a previous high. Look at that, 2 bounces, right? We also have a median line from the broadening wedge, all right? And of course, we have the top of the range. To wrap it up, I was saying, look at the compression that happened here, all right? And we are not at the top. We're not having cloud compression at the top. So that it makes it difficult to predict whether if we're going to be bursting to the downside or bursting to the upside. That is unknown. But what we can see, it is that this pop soda or this soda is being shaked a lot, and the pressure, it just keep climbing. All right. If you know about soda, that's not a real thing. But yeah, for the rest of us, the pressure keeps climbing, and we are gonna be bursting. Where to? We need just that a little bit more information. What are you seeing, Piper?
I'm seeing on the heat map right now, looking at the 3-month heat map, that we have a nice hot spot with about $1 billion of liquidity sitting right around $88,000 to $90,000. So that lines up with what you're seeing on your chart there too. So there you go. Nice. And we've cleaned out everything beneath it. You saw it was all dark underneath there. So it's a dark chasm beneath us. Nice little heat map sitting above us. So, shout out to Tradefly and his heat maps. That would definitely be an area to watch, in my opinion. So, one other thing that I wanted to talk about on that article is about the uncertainty that is surrounding all of this and it being purposeful. If you look here, what the Market Mosaic was saying here in his newsletter, the uncertainty around tariffs has become a binary and unpredictable event for the stock market. Signs of tension fuel further downside, while an easing of tension sends stocks sharply in the other direction. And of course, what I've said also, the goal was to bring Treasury yields back down before resuming the trade war. We're seeing that 10-year start to pull back, and that spread is evening out. And if we go over here and take a look again at the bonds, you'll see it's cooling off. So that 10-year bond is lowering down, giving us a little bit of what they're saying here happening. And that's why I said ultimately what you guys have got to be watching for is that we're not really getting a higher high. Looking at the SPX here, guys, we had this topping, we pulled down. Yeah, we got a nice big rally. Everyone's all excited about it. But right now, on the daily open, we're just looking like a lower high. And so if we go back in history, look at during other economic events that have occurred here, we had a lot of these. Look, pull back from the high, rally, down more, rally, down more. And this is all underneath this moving average here. What is this moving average? Guys, that is going to be your 52-week simple moving average. Shout out to LBC on this one, okay? We're beneath it, and so it's become our resistance. Let's go back and look here. Lower high beneath the 52-week, right? Let's go back and look here. We had a pullback. There's a nice rally here, rejected off of it, created another bounce there before it moved to the upside, but this is back in 1990. And then let's look at 87 here. We lost it, rally, rally. I mean, like, we get these rallies, it happens, right? So overall, not feeling super bullish because of the fact right now that we are sitting beneath the 52-week simple moving average. It tried to hold it here. There was a big fight going on for weeks, and then finally that was it. It just said I can't do it, and then we dropped until we make a higher high on Bitcoin. Let's go over and pull up Bitcoin here. Until we get this higher high back in and are able to. Now, I will point out that Bitcoin is holding this 52-week much better than the TradFi side, hence why I love my Bitcoin, becoming a Bitcoin maxi here. Right now, all we've done is created a lower high, right? And so we really need to get back in and start to create structure. I want to see this happen, right? And that's where I'll start to turn bullish again. But until then, guys, we're just repeating patterns that we've seen historically on the S&P, where we're looking at lower highs. And eventually, if the S&P continues down, Bitcoin will very likely follow suit, because at the end of the day, it is a risk asset. So OC, your thoughts on that? What are you thinking about this, or what are you seeing on the altcoins? If you don't have anything on this, we can move right over to there. Hey, thank you for the down like. I appreciate it. It's still engagement. Love you all. OC, what do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. What I want to see is gold, because we were been pumping like crazy, right? And we were asked, like, hey, how can I jump back in? And we were answering the same thing. We need to see structure. Once we start seeing structure, then we can start predicting a possible entry zone. Nonetheless, we did came out with some of range of a possible liquidity swap or sweep, and we'll bring it up. Perfect. So right now we're seeing that, look at that Ness monster right here, being shown here, that Longosaurus, or whatever the name of that Jurassic Park first scene from the dinosaurs is, right? But the point in here is that the liquidity to be grabbed is somewhere around here, all right? If you want to go into the actual movement, you can use your naked eyes, right, and use it. So if you don't know how to do that, go and watch Trading with OC Naked Charts. All right, Naked Charts. That's what I show you how to look for. Yeah, but that never gets old. Order blocks or areas of interest right here, so we can start adding some support and resistance if you don't like to use your indicators, right? Regardless, you'll see that we're going to be nailing a couple of interesting zones depending on what tools we're going to be using here. All right, let me just go back. Let me just clear this up. I already have a prepared analysis in here. This is our last analysis, right? We were looking for this area of confluence to come back down here, maybe enter for a little bit of a long position, and then off we go. That will reinforce both this low in here to create a meaningful higher low, right? And this high in here to create a meaningful higher high. All the way up here, we had our predictive ranges. Let me bring them up. There we go. And it seems like they have moved since last analysis. Let me see if I have another set of predictive ranges, because I did change a couple of those just to fit another asset, but whatever. We did had another predictive range in here. That's what I was marking. Seems like we hit it, but we'll just call it this one that is right now on screen, right? We hit it, we're retracing, and we are supposed to be hitting first this area right here, or at the end this area here. So which means we're having this retracement. Be careful, because our first area of support, let's see if you do remember, it is right here where we have, there we go, right, that line or that part of that week right before, right above this area of highs, right? So basically our previous highs. So that means that we could be having a sweep of the lows in here, maybe create some structure, and then off we go. Still, because of how my instruments are pointing at, let me go back to this one here. Perfect. I know it's a little messy. Let me just get rid of this. All right. You see that I have my previous weekly high. There we go. I also have here, turn that one off and this one on. I have a order blocking here. I have another predictive range in there, right? And of course, this is a highly bullish zone. So our first entry could be somewhere around right here at 3,153. And our next possible entry could be, as we marked it before in here, right? Somewhere around 3,109 to average a total position of 3,200 in 7 for entry position, right? Not total amount placed in there. Again, not financial advice, just the areas that I'm looking for gold. So maybe we will have an entry possibility soon. Turn it back to you, Piper, and I'll get some altcoins ready to go.
Awesome. You know what I hear in my head every single time that I see a dislike when someone doesn't like me saying that we need to make a higher high or a higher low?
What?
You can't handle the truth.
That's what I hear in my head every single time. You can't handle the truth. OC, do you know we have a trade comp going? Did you know that?
Oh, yes. In fact, I called it out this Friday on the late show. It's an amazing opportunity. There you go. You got it right there.
Yeah, I got it. Guys, this is a trading challenge that BC Portcorp put on. It's all paper trading. It's demo, right? You don't have to put any money in. It's just for fun so that it's a Discord community thing that we're doing. Free to join, real cash prizes, though. You're going to actually win money off of it. Password, here's the link, and the link I'll drop into the chat here for us. Let me find it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I'm going to drop this in the chat for you guys. This is the link to join it. It's all going to be just for fun. So you guys can just demo trade, not cost you anything, but you get to win real money. So first place going to win $100, second place $50, third place $25. Registration is still going on 11th through the 18th. The trading will be the 18th through May 19th. So you have plenty of time. You can register right there. Password Piper Academy ! It's a good way to have some fun and do some trading and win some cash. So guys, go check that out. And then also right after this, we're going to be heading over to Crypto Princess's show. She's going to be doing another live here, live with Lewis Raskin, I believe. I probably butchered his name, but he was in the chat heavily when I was on there last week. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch that one. But yeah, we're going to be heading over to there. I want to go talk about some altcoins. Let's talk about that. So guys, what I'm watching here has to do with Bitcoin first, right? Because if Bitcoin decides that it's going to move, alts are going to move, lock in step with it. So what I'm watching here is the monthly, really. You can see we're getting ready to come down and maybe do another wave. That is very possible. Last time we had this downward motion, that was back in like 2024, March through August, and then we had another pump. But if we continue to close this signal line, just like this one here, guys, if we cross the signal line at the end of the month here on the monthly, this is going to send us into deep bearish territory, in my opinion. You can see the RSI on the monthly still overheated, sitting way up high, right at the 70% line. If this crosses here and us not getting any of our indication of bottoms here, okay, if this crosses, historically, this has led to big sell-offs. There's one. There's one. And if you go in and we take a look at this, you'll see that was a pretty big sell-off there on that little line. Measuring that down, that was a 72% drop, guys. So don't think that this means nothing. When this crosses to a purple cloud, which it is on the verge of doing, we could have more downside. So if we go over and we take a look at what we're seeing right now, like I said, they're lower highs. We need to show that that is going to give us this breakout of higher levels so that the alts can follow suit, right? Right now, when we go over and we look at things like ETH, for example, it's also losing key levels. We had a nice fight here for the golden pocket, couldn't hold it, sitting below the 50-day. We're sitting on a point of control right now, but we're running into quantum reactor, dynamic reactor on the 4 hours. That is going to be a very harsh area for us to fight with, right? Just like we're seeing on XRP. XRP looking decent. I mean, it got a beautiful bounce on my golden pocket here. By the way, these are the same levels I've had on for a long time in our Discord. So, but right now we're hitting some key resistance here. Where does this come off of? It's this volume though, this little nipple right here on the fixed range volume profile. Point of control sitting all the way up here. We are in the lower quadrant here of our fixed range volume profile with a lot of resistance hitting. Okay. It is looking better that it's above the 200 and the 300. That's a goal. That's a bonus. But at the end of the day, we could easily reject up in these levels here and send us down for a lower, making this a lower high and then continue on. ONDO, I mean, ONDO's looking pretty decent today. A 4 hour, yeah, we're breaking up here. We're getting higher highs. We're getting higher lows. We're breaking a 50-day. Can you go back to ONDO, please? Did not mean to hit it that many times. But if we look at this on like the daily, guys, You can see here, wow, you guys remember this? Way back in the day when we were talking about this trend line that we broke out of, this was back in September of last year. Yep, that was beautiful. Right now, if you take a look, we're just creating nothing more than a lower high. And so we have got to be aware of what's going on with Bitcoin, because if we are not able to retake a lot of these levels that we're seeing across the alts and get up here on these higher levels, guys, then Bitcoin is looking at having that threat of going on what's going on here on the monthly closeout, which could indicate that we have a much harsher side of downside to go. I'm looking at like $63,000, $67,000 to be the line in the sand that we need to hold as support in order to say, okay, the bottom is in. And if we don't hold that and we do get that cross, then guys, strap in. It's going to be harsh. Purple rain, and this chart popped up. Nice, Mark Dutch. Purple rain is coming to ruin your party. There you go, Mark Dutch. We're going to start saying that. Oh, see, what else you got? What else are you looking at on the altcoin side? Is there anything that is giving you a little bit of hopium? Are you seeing some altcoins that are stronger than others right now in their structure?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm about to just stop trading Fidelity Ethereum because right now, are we about to on F ETH? It's just been playing out very nicely. Well, F no, because we're going to a resistance. We're going to keep FFC for a long, long time. Nonetheless, it's been giving us some money, man. I mean, it's just been playing out fantastically. It's getting a little noisy. Let me just fix that for you guys. But there we go. This is what we've been talking about, right? We have a trend line here, and we're expecting either break through this area or be bouncing on that trend line. And let me just click this out of the way, breakout retest, or this other breakout retest. It did happen, but it just happened slightly to the right. Look at that beautiful breakout, beautiful retest, not only right here on this trend line in here, but also in the convergence of this other trend line there. In fact, if we just go here, it barely touched it, but still very nicely. We left it out here just to compensate for the volatility area that we could be having. So basically like that. Let me just try not to mess it up. Perfect. So hopefully you guys did enter on the long hold area right here at 1,574. Guys, if you did enter, for me, it's time to take some profits, 50% out of what is in your position here. And that is because we're coming to a possible rejection zone. We are on previous weekly high, right? We also have, there we go, an order block being formed. Where are you, order blocks? Oh, well, sorry, not order block, predictive range in here, right? So there's two rejections. We can still push a little bit higher. That's why I didn't say, you know what, let's just close completely this area. Just take some of it. Why? Because I'm seeing some indecision candle, but also look at the compression. And this compression right here is not at the top, so we don't know, right, where is it going to be breaking through. But I got you a little bit of a surprise. It is pointing to the upside, and it's already breaking through. So what do you think we're going to be doing? We're going to be bursting to the upside. Where to? Where our biggest resistance is at dynamic reactor. Not only that, we also have a bearish order blocking here, and well, then I believe that we're going to be coming back down at least to 1,690-ish. So be smart, take some profits at that zone. If you did enter the retest, again, not fully, move your stop to entry and enjoy the ride. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin has also been moving on that trend line. I was expecting for maybe a drop in here. As you can see there, we always plan for the two scenarios, scenario number A and scenario number B. So we have number A in here and we have number B. We did not broke. Instead, we retrace, right? What happens here, we did that double bottom, double top as we were expecting. And then, well, we did not plummet as we did expect. But something interesting, this is the tightest area that I have seen. So I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be moving this stop right here. Sorry, this alert right here. I'm going to be trying to enter here with a quarter of a position at a 30x. Guys, I'm gonna be risking money almost for a loss. All right. Why? Because we are bearish. All right. We are bearish and we are higher. Usually I'm gonna be aiming at a lower zoning here. But since Bitcoin is pointing at a liquidity grab to the upside, I think I can multiply that, right? And I could be taking maybe an entry like this all the way to this previous area. Let's bring up my support and resistances. I have a resistance here, an order block. I'm going to be aiming to the order block because look at, I also have a big area here, but I'm not going to get too greedy. I'm just going to be aiming to this area because I have to first break through, right? Maybe retest, and then if I hold this, off you go.
You
so that's
can't
what I'm
handle the truth.
Oh yeah, you can handle the truth. Stop loss somewhere. There we go. Somewhere around 74, 74.22, and I'm gonna be trying to go for that movement. Again, I'm not thinking that this is gonna happen just yet. I just think that this is gonna happen just yet. All right, so be careful out there. Try to get the best price that you can get. If not, well then that's it. Let it run and program for your next possible entry. My next entry in this case is going to be shorting here or shorting there, whichever. In fact, you already see that I have an alert. Let's just move it a little bit lower, somewhere around there. And there we go. Let me just wrap it up. Oh man, let's just skip this BS out of the way. Let's go to Binance and look at that possible area of rejection. What we got, a possible area of rejection, and right now rejected, confirming the trend. Let me just clear this up. There we go. And we could be pushing again. We're missing a zero lining here very quickly. Zero, enter. Okay, right click, and we need to lock this one. Perfect, and that is going to be it. All right, so what I want to see is this breakout somewhere around here, and then retest dynamic reactor. This is going to be my entry for long position if I can make it. Look at the compression. We are diluting that compression, which is fine for the area that we are into. And I think BNB could be one of the bigger movements. And that's going to be it. Yep.
Awesome. Let's start. So here's some hopium. Buck said, I'm going to have to start watching Investing Bros to get my fix for hopium. You want some Moonboy talk? I got some Moonboy talk for you. Let's go talk about this chart because there is a scenario that plays out here, right? You guys know this is why I sold when I did, right? 5% within 5% of the top. I sold everything, got the hell out of the markets. I'm sitting on a lot of profit. I'm dollar cost averaging weekly to get back in for exposure, right? But I'm dollar cost averaging. It's okay. We'll make it all back, right? All the profit that I'm sitting on, what would make me think of a Moonboy scenario here? Well, it has to do with some other things that I have here. So let's go ahead and let's go. All right, we get back up here and we retake this for some upside movement. What could that look like for us? Let's go turn off market tops. There we go. And let's turn on the fib cycles. Guys, going back historically on fib cycles, I got a whole video about this where we have our accumulation phase and then we get into our rally phase and we break that one-to-one line. This is our parabolic. This is our euphoric, right? All of our different phases here of a cycle. Typically, we have gone up and hit the 2.36. Last cycle, though, we stopped right at the 1.618 for a double top. We hadn't hit it this time at all, okay? So let's say we get back up here. We do something similar to this 2021 repeat pattern. Well, we come back down and retest the one-to-one, which is coming in at about $68,000. I think 67 to 63,000. Probably a good point for support, and I've showed you guys why numerous times on that. If that is the case, and we get our bounce around our one-to-one line down here at $63,000 to $67,000, right? And we come back in, guys, hitting our 1.618, which we've at least hit every single cycle, would put us at about $167,000 Bitcoin. I'm not saying that's completely off the table. I'm saying that right now we have to go with the data that we're given and we have to analyze the data as it is, okay? That data right now is telling us that we have some bad macro data. We have trade wars going on. We have not set new higher highs, and therefore we have to have a plan for the bearishness. That's my bullish plan. I continue my DCA, and then we DCA on the way up as it goes, and that's okay. We've taken a lot of profit from the year. Average buy-in, $21,420. Sold at 102.7 WBETC, where the hits keep coming. And now we are looking at this lower high setup. But if we do get into a higher high setup and it starts to take off, guys, I'm looking at like $167,000. I've got a bullish scenario, but the bullish scenario is not supported right now by what we are seeing at the moment. I can tell you all day long that this is a left hand. This is a left hand, but it doesn't matter as long as you don't see that this is the right hand. Look at here. It's different. It's opposite to what you're seeing, right? You got to call things what they are, and you can't just ignore what's there in front of you because of hopium. So if you want some hopium, there's your moon boy. Give me a higher high. We can go to $167,000. Let's go. And now I have that soundbite permanently on my stream deck. So
you can't handle the truth.
That's the facts of life right there. OC, it is time to go hit up and start this raid over on Crypto Princess. What do you got for the people today, man, that came and joined us here to listen to the truth?
Absolutely, guys. So if you want to ignore all of the hopium and be bearish, well, then do not click that like button. But if you want to click that like button, well, then we can maybe try to push that price of Bitcoin a little bit higher so we can enjoy some more profits. Other than that, guys, no, in serious, all seriousness, be careful right there in the markets. Everything is kind of like turning back in happiness, right? This euphoric movement, it is the perfect storm conditions to dump the markets once again, right? Just what I'm saying is be prepared. Other than that, click that like button, because if you do, maybe a new freshly cooked breakfast might be coming your way, or better yet, a coffee being ready.
A bag of coffee to drink out of the OG coffee mug. Shout out to the Otter Gang. Appreciate y'all joining us here. Guys, we are about to head over and raid Crypto Princess's show. It's her second live. So when you guys get over there, drop the graduation caps, show the princess some love, and we'll see you guys over there. You guys have a great day. We'll catch you back here tomorrow morning. Don't forget to tune into OC's show this evening. Also, markets after dark, the Lunar Beaches Crypto, and tomorrow morning, BC Portcorp of Good Morning Crypto before we go live at 10 a.m., bringing you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Trade safe, and as always, use some risk management. Later, guys. Thanks.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper.
You can't handle the
We'll
truth.
keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall down. I know you hungry for now, Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCGuy, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.